Welcome back to DGT Live. This is your host, Jonny Walker.
I'm Dead Guy Ty, and this is the show we talk everything Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, thanks for joining me, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.
Hey, you're welcome. And if you just came off of our Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 16 finale, big, drunken, spectacular, I like to call it, reviewing Wrath, thank you so much for joining us for that. And now, thank you for joining us for the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead, Episode 1 for Season 4. I am so excited to talk about this episode. As always, I have Dead Guy Ty joining me, so thank you. And also, from over in the weird place called, like, England or something, I don't know, I have Mr. Alex Scott from The Walking Bread. Thanks for coming back on.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you for having me. As always, it's a pleasure to be here.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. All right. And also, we have from Arizona, Mr. Felix from Thought Factory joining us.
What's going on? Like, glad to be back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Long time no see, right? And then from the Great White North, I have Ted from Cardsphere.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here.
And last but not least, my beautiful, wonderful, awesome green and blue-haired sister, Miss The Walking Deb.
Hi. Hi.
All right. So, Fear the Walking Dead, people. I mean, this is a big deal because this is a complete reboot for the series. If you follow, Dead Guy Ty and I completely broke down the entire Fear the Walking Dead series so far, and you guys could click on those videos if you are so inclined. We broke it down in 2 videos. It is the first 3 seasons have been kind of a mixed bag. Season 1 was pretty great in my opinion. Season 2 was kind of a fart in the wind, and then Season 3 was pretty strong. Dare I say stronger than some episodes or even some seasons of Walking Dead proper. Oh, shots fired, I know. However, Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 has already, it not only got a facelift with the opening credit scene, but it got a complete cast overhaul where we didn't even see the Madison's family until, spoiler alert, kind of the very end, and we didn't even see Madison, who is for all intents and purposes the show's Rick at all. This was something. First, we'll just kind of go down the line. What did you think? Just your initial thoughts, and then we'll kind of go into, we'll start at the beginning and then go towards the end and review the whole sucker. But just your initial thoughts of the first episode of Season 4 of Fear. Mr. Alex Scott, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good kind of a revamp. My biggest problem with Fear in the past seasons was the majority of the characters I just didn't like. And these new characters they've introduced, apart from Morgan, they're all really strong. They're really good characters, especially like the gunslinger kind of guy. And that truck is fucking awesome. I want one.
Yes, it is.
Felix, you saw this thing in the movie theater. How is, and you just came off a finale, right? You came off the finale of Fear or of Walking Dead. How was watching this episode thematically?
It was awesome. I came up, off a high, and it pretty much kept it. I think it set the tone. Yeah, I'm hearing, it was too slow. It set the tone, and I love this tone. The characters, they were awesome. They weren't boring. They had you from the word go. The way things happened, was a little too convenient and fast, but it was awesome. I was happy with it. And again, same thing like The Walking Dead. I'm not going to keep saying it, but seeing it in the theater with no commercials, it kept you. It didn't miss a beat, and you were just in the whole episode.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Ted, you are up next. What do you think about your initial thoughts of this episode for Fear?
In and of itself, I really dug it. Like other people are saying, the characters, the new characters impressed me. I mean, I kind of thought of them as, hey, they're checking a lot of boxes here, of the zombie fiction archetypes. They've got a gunslingery type guy, They've got a young, sassy woman with a big ass truck full of guns. But you know what?
Good thing you ended that with truck.
Pardon me?
Good thing you ended that sentence with truck.
Yeah. but you know, this is what we're here for. This is what I signed on for, right? These are the things I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Deb.
I thought it was great. I loved that episode. I thought there was very little wrong with it. I mean, I enjoyed it more than I liked the season finale of The Walking Dead.
Ooh. Yeah. Tyler, bring us home. What do you think about the premiere?
I hate it. No, I'm just joking. I just wanted to say something that everyone else didn't say. But no, I freaking loved it. I thought it was great. We saw action. We saw Walker kills. We saw, person on, group on group, action. That sounded really weird, but
I wasn't going to say anything.
Tyler's had a few waters in his system. You gotta excuse Tyler. He's had a few waters.
I actually broke and decided I needed to drink, so I grabbed an all-day IPA because I'm just a lot more fun when I'm drinking.
Even a session, right?
That's what she said. Oh.
No, she didn't.
That's a whole other show, Deb.
But no, I mean, we saw some really good Morgan aspects. We saw some great conversation and dialogue between what was her name? Al. Her and Morgan, and her and John, I think was his name, the gunslinger, right?
They all gelled just right.
Yeah, and just with her interviews, I thought that was kind of interesting, and that is kind of a callback to an old zombie movie, right? Isn't there an old zombie movie where somebody's documenting it and interviewing everybody?
Oh,
like an old Romero movie or something?
I think that was the reboot of Night of the Living Dead, right?
No, Alex has got it. It's Diary.
What's that? What's that, Ted?
It's Diary of the Living Dead, and it is Romero, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah. It's like the one after Land of the Dead, which takes it back to, I think, when it all starts.
Okay. So, I thought that was just kind of a, an interesting little, callback to an old zombie movie that they threw in there that I didn't expect to see.
I think they did that, though, because it's going to go ahead and show us, the viewers, what happened between the end of last season to now, which has been 2 years, no? Something like that? 2.5 years?
You're talking about the time jump from last season to this season?
Time jump. It's going to catch us up. Reason why I think they got her character.
And
the journalist.
You're absolutely right, Felix. There is a time jump now, and it shows it so well just from the opening. And I guess we're going to kind of jump in it from the beginning, but it's so weird. And like Debbie said, it was like I liked this so much more than the regular Walking Dead finale. And it was funny too, because where it left off, Morgan goes to in Walking Dead, Morgan goes to the junkyard group and takes Anne, or tells Anne, who is the artist formerly known as Jadis, and says you need to go join Rick, even though she had all the accoutrements that anyone would want in a zombie apocalypse. She had a very nice IKEA square that she lived in, but
tiny house.
A tiny house, right? But she left, and Morgan is just like, no, you go, I'll stay. But I was smiling like a little kid when they kept knocking at the door. First it was Jesus, then it was Carol, and then it was Rick. Just having them on the show and just to show them and just to kind of tease, we did predictions about where the series is going, or Walking Dead is going next season for season 9, but you kind of got a little quick update right afterwards. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was really well handled, and oh my God, I mean, The Walking Dead is going to really hurt with the absence of Lenny James, because you put that man on screen and it's just riveting. You can't take your eyes off it. So, Felix said a lot of people were complaining about the pacing issues. I thought this was brilliantly paced. I thought it was so amazing. Even the down part, so to speak, of him traveling and just doing this road trip in the apocalypse, it was kind of a throwback or a callback to Daniel. You know, once we got the reveal of Daniel being alive on Fear, and we kind of got to see him kind of take
that one episode. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that was a really good episode too.
Oh, it was fantastic, but it was that on steroids because, Ruben Blades is fantastic as Daniel, but he's no Lenny James, and just to see that kind of Americana hike going west was absolutely brilliant.
Well, one thing that I think is the key point about what succeeded in this episode and what has been failing the viewership on The Walking Dead a little bit is you talk about the pacing, and watching this episode, I didn't think about the pacing, and I shouldn't think about the pacing when I'm watching a show, right? I should just be swept along with it, and that's what this episode had that The Walking Dead finale lacked, because even then I was thinking about the pacing of it.
Absolutely.
I like the tone it set, though. Like I said, it was it was really good. It kept it. To me, The Walking Dead was better, but it kept that for me. I was just there, and again, maybe theater experience, but I was glued to it. Loved the new characters. I can't wait for next week, and that's Fear the Walking Dead I'm talking about. I'm not used to saying that.
And I mean, this is coming from nowadays the series or the sitcoms like a Flash. DC does this a lot, like the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow. If you guys watch that, or any of the viewers watch those kind of shows, that is kind of the thing now, is to do these crossovers. But this season premiere was how you do crossovers correctly. Just having Rick on screen was absolutely amazing. And I just spent an hour with this guy.
Right? Yeah, I absolutely agree, John. I sometimes they do some of these crossovers, and it just it becomes too much. And the way they kind of transitioned this and built this up and have such an awesome character, an awesome actor like Lenny James, obviously we're just seeing the beginning of this crossover, but it seems like they're starting it out in the right direction.
Yeah, when I first heard it was Morgan, I was like, Morgan? And then now I'm like, Morgan, he's awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know at least, Tyler and I know a lot of the RAD guys, we all thought that Morgan wasn't surviving season 8 of The Walking Dead, right? We were just like, first on the chopping block, it's going to be Morgan. But now that you see it, and especially, for people like Alex and Ted and everybody and Felix, actually everyone on here, I mean, Deb's part of the Walking Bread as well, right? As a voice acting, it's just how to get his shit together.
Eventually.
But yeah, for comic book readers, we all know that Morgan's done. Morgan didn't survive No Way Out,
back
right?
Then, yeah. It's been a while.
But yeah, so let's talk about some of the new characters. I mean, talk about Gunslinger John, Alex. I mean, this guy. Okay, hold on. Before I hear your thoughts, my father, God rest his soul, he lived in a very tiny small town called Tom Bean, Texas, and everyone in Tom Bean, Texas, talked like John the Gunslinger, and I was just like, this fucking guy killed it. I'm a Dark Tower fan anyways, so I love when there is a gun, and it's weird. I'm not a big Western fan. I'm going off on a weird tirade, but I'm not a big Western fan. But I love when there's that weird gunslinger in a different setting, which is basically the Dark Tower, the Gunslinger series from Stephen King. Read it, watch it, do all that. The movie sucked. I digress. John, he not only talked like a person from Tom Bean, his accent was so authentic. What a cool character. Alex, what did you think about John? Not me, the gunslinger.
Oh, thank God for that. I really liked him. Like, from the moment he literally starts talking, he's just like, am I talking too loud? And he's just like, yeah, I'm talking too loud. Like, I kind of like that subtle kind of like comedic side to him, because you kind of, if you haven't spoken in like a year, like he says, you would kind of be like that. It's just like, yep, no, I'm just talking to myself, but I'm gonna carry on, you know, fuck it. So I really like him, and he's an awesome shot. I like how he looks. He looks like a badass. Oh yeah, this character's very promising. If they kill him off next episode, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Just
Wow.
I'm invested.
Deb, what did you think about Gunslinger John?
I loved him so much. I mean, he was so relatable and so human and so like vulnerable and sweet, but a badass at the same time. And did you notice the little reference to his last name?
No.
I've been saying John, so I forgot his last name.
Last
So thanks
name,
for
he
calling
tells,
me out.
he tells I think he tells Morgan his last name is Dory with an I-E, not a Y, like the fish.
Oh yeah.
So he references like Saving Nemo, which I thought was kind of really cool. But
Finding Nemo, Deb.
okay, it's been a long time. Okay, but no, I thought he was a great character. He's loyal and he's amazing. If they kill him, Alex, I agree with you. I'm gonna kill myself too.
I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't kill his character next week.
So aside from everyone, you know, I guess we have to. The next show will be all of us sitting in a circle drinking poison Kool-Aid. Dad, are you in this circle? What did you think about John? Did you love him so much you're dying next week?
I'm in the circle. Yeah, I thought he was awesome. I like to have a. I feel like he's like kind of a Dale character with sass. You know, he's got the humanity, like Deb was saying. You know, I mean, shit, he's got a pocket full of candy that he's given out to make friends, right?
That was funny.
A good guy.
That was funny.
And then I loved how he was like, what did he say? He's like, I'm going to say words like platypus.
It was all P words, right?
Yeah. He's like
P-word.
pecan pie or something like that. I don't know. It was hilarious, though. I don't know about you guys, but I was just dying right at that part. I'm like, dude, it's like 5 minutes into the episode and I'm already freaking crying, laughing.
Tyler, another person that's been to Tom Bean, Texas. Am I far off on the accent?
No.
Really talk like that there? That's amazing.
Yeah, no, and I didn't really see it until you said that, John. But yeah, that reminds me of everybody, even the folks I ran into at the underground gambling hall that I drunkenly stumbled into in Tom Bean. They
Hold on,
talk just
tell
like
that story
too.
real quick because it's really good.
I don't know. There's not much to tell. I got ridiculously stupid drunk. Surprise. Okay. I don't know. How old were we, John? Like 18, 19?
21. Duh.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. 21. We weren't 21.
No.
And we went to visit John's dad. We got just shit-faced. And I don't know. For some reason, I got pissed off at John and David, our other friend.
Yeah.
And decided I was going to go and I was going to hitchhike back to Vegas. And I just stumbled around like Main Street of Tom Bean, Texas. And then I don't know how, but I stumbled into this house. It had lights on and like, I don't know. I stumbled in there and then there was like slot machines and like video poker. And I'm just like, I'm home. I sat down. The lady lit me up a cigarette and I just drunkenly played video poker for I don't know a few hours until they kicked me out and paid me in.
I did the same thing in Montreal, but instead of a friendly woman being nice to me, it was a French Canadian Pakistani woman who I totally couldn't understand hitting me with a broom because I was it was awful.
A little different experience.
Yeah.
They paid me out with Walmart gift cards when I
That's
left.
the best part. That's the best part.
They're in Texas, of course they did.
I had like $20. That's all I had left, you know,
That's awesome.
with Walmart gift cards. Yeah,
I
it was.
I put this on everything, on people I made, on every possession I own. I just told this story to my boss at work like the other day. I still tell this story to this day. It's just amazing. All right, so that's all you need to know about Tom Bean. Felix, what did you think about John the Gunslinger?
I'm going to say pretty much what everybody said. I thought he was awesome. That first 4 or 5 minute speech he gave, it could have went one way or the other, and it was awesome. Awesome. I mean, like everything you said, he was, he did remind me of Adele with Sass. When you said that, I was like, yeah, he did. The candy bit where he even offered Al when she was driving, he reaches over, here's a candy, and then later on with Morgan, just the charisma he had, they all had together with each other by themselves. The new characters with Morgan, awesome. Like I said, I was iffy, and now I'm just happy that Morgan's there.
Real quick, sorry, Christian's back in the chat. I just want to say, for everyone that's tuning in, I did have 2 beers to start out. I had the Pale Death Belgian style Imperial IPA and the Umbrella Pelican Brew New World Indian IPA. I'm going to give this one probably a good 3.75. Not my favorite, but very, very good. On theme tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from Double Mountain. Thank you so much, Christian, from Northwest Beverage, for hooking this one up and sampling it out. And also from Pelican Brewery. Not my favorite. I hate their Kwanda Cream Ale. Sorry, Pelican Brewing. But the Umbrella was good. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Very good beers, very good showings. I'm all out. So that's why I didn't introduce it.
Special guests tonight, John? Or is it just me and you who have special guests?
No, Tyler's on the all day. Ted's drinking. No, everyone's drinking. Actually, the only people that weren't drinking was the RAD people.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. My beer is getting to me, so yeah, I forgot.
You're telling me I'm hosting a show. I'm too deep.
I'm too. So.
But yeah,
really quick to finish up on John. What was that line he had? I was dying. Something like, I stopped talking to myself because I started enjoying
the conversations.
Yeah. I was dying when I heard that.
Oh, so good. So and that's kind of a fun dichotomy with Morgan, right? Because he's constantly seeing these dead people. Excuse me. He's constantly seeing these dead people. And sorry, that was gross. and he's kind of talking to him too, but it's a lot more nefarious than
he doesn't enjoy the conversations. That's the problem. Yeah.
What do you, and we'll stay with Felix real quick, and you guys could all kind of chime in after. What do you think about John's mission to find his kind of lost love, the person that has the twin to his gun? And do you think this is kind of already jumping into speculation? Do you think this is Jenna Elfman's character
from Walking Dead?
What?
Oh, okay. No, because there's a Laura in Walking Dead, and I heard someone say that it's probably her, but
would be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting.
I heard she was. Is she the actress that has the producer friend that's coming, or is that another actress?
Jenna Elfman was from. She's been around for forever and a day. She's gonna be the blonde. Like we've seen her in the preview. She's the blonde.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be her. I think that's just gonna be probably a slow mission he's gonna go throughout the season. Probably end up finding her towards the end. I don't think it's gonna be that the one with like the blonde kind of curly hair. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be her. But I think it's gonna be like his own little things gonna go through. And probably end up finding that, they need more cast, so she'll be alive. But I'm hoping he finds out that she's gone. He finds her gun or something small like that.
I think that she's going to be the big bad guy.
Oh!
It could be with the big bad guy. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Alex?
Yeah, I'm not too sure really. When I first heard when he first mentioned it, I kind of thought to myself, "Oh shit, another searching storyline." But yeah, I don't really know if they're gonna pursue it full on or if it's just gonna be that kind of thing. Like whenever they meet a new character, it's just like, "So have you seen this person with this kind of gun?" And then, like everyone else is saying, it'd probably be more towards the end.
It doesn't get old really fast.
See, I was thinking more like
I think it's going to be like a background storyline for him trying to find it. I think it's going to work out good, though. I hope he finds out that she's gone, but she'll be alive.
No, as a romantic, I was thinking maybe that was just like everyone in that world needs something to keep them going. They need something to stay alive for. And to me, that was like maybe his reason to keep going. His reason to stay alive was to find her. And I'm still not sure he will.
Do you think they'll probably tease that for a couple seasons or pay it off?
I think they'll tease it for sure. And I hope he finds her, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's what keeps him going. But I hope he does find her.
Yeah, I think Fear's on borrowed time because if not, if they don't cancel it, unfortunately, after this season, then they're going to completely meld it in to Walking Dead proper, which I'm fine with. I think that's probably the ultimate goal at this point once they made that decision to do the crossover. But I completely agree. I think in one aspect or another, they'll wrap this storyline up during this season, probably sooner rather than later. It is a nice little it's a nice mirror piece to what Dwight's going through with Sherry, where I think with like Ted said, his favorite part, if you watch the last episode that we did about the finale, like Ted said, it was a nice his favorite part was Dwight finding the letter from Sherry, and I think that kind of ended in like a nice Hallmark place. Which not cheesy at all. It was a nice heartstring kind of wrap up because Dwight literally is just like been the gum on the bottom of everyone's shoe. So it's nice to finally see the writers throw him a bone. But I think that with John, I don't think it's going to end so nicely.
I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's go to the other new character, Miss Badass herself. And the thing about this show is they're just like The Walking Dead, even though it's deviated so much from the actual source material, it still has to kind of follow a track, so to speak, a little bit. Where Fear the Walking Dead, they're just like, fuck it, we're putting like Overwatch characters in here. You got a gunslinger, you got a chick with a big tank, you got, this person, you got a samurai and Morgan now. And even the guy that kind of took Morgan and John hostage, they're just like, really? A gunslinger and a ninja or a samurai or whatever?
Yeah.
And it was great that the show was so self-aware that they're just like, wow, we don't care. We're just like, what we were doing before a little bit wasn't really working as much, so fuck it, let's just go completely off the rails. Let's make this entertaining for everyone. So what was your guys' initial reaction of, I think her name was Al, who was Maggie Grace from Lost? Ted, let's go. Okay, I was gonna say Ted. Sorry, I was gonna say Ted.
Well, I dig her. I think it hits a lot of tones that you need in the zombie fiction. We talked about Diary of the Dead. The journalist is always a big trope in the fiction, and they're good, smart characters, right? And she seems to really have it together. I think there's probably some interesting story about how she ended up with the SWAT vehicle. When I first saw the SWAT vehicle, the first thing I thought of was Land of the Dead and their big vehicle going around. And I thought to myself, this is okay. If they're going to do a reboot, they're really trying to hit some notes that people recognize, because maybe they went too far the other way with the original couple seasons. And I definitely like her. I was a fan, a Lost fan, and I loved her performance there. And I recognized her. I knew her, but it took me a little while to figure out that it was Maggie Grace.
Felix, did you think they pushed it a little too far with her kind of her lever and everything? Do you think they went a little too far, or were you just kind of eating it up for the sheer entertainment value of it?
I liked it, and what I was going to say before is I think the time jump helps the way they got to this point. It's Fear the Walking Dead ended the third season. I think it's 6 to 9 months in the outbreak. Now it's about 3 years in the outbreak. So I mean, there's a lot of time there where that they're badass now, but it took them that time to get there. So that's, I think, the time jump that they went through. It helped with these characters where they're at now, as their badassery and to get the truck and for what's his name to go through his story, losing his wife or girlfriend and trying to find her now. They went through, so that's where I feel the time jump helped with them. But your question was about the
Just if her truck was a little too fantastical, but you pretty much said it. It was like we've gone
She got
enough,
there, yeah.
right?
I like he said. It was badass. I mean, it was too badass to try to not knock it, but like it's badass.
The zombies on like the walkers and the zombies on Fear, which I love that Morgan said, where I come from, we call them walkers. That was a great little, kind of a pride moment for his own show, right?
Because he's the one that told Rick that, and then Rick took that, and that's what everyone started calling him that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Fear has gotten a lot of shit for the Walker effects as far as, as opposed to The Walking Dead proper. Alex, what did you think about the Walker effects in this episode?
I've never really had a problem with the zombies in Fear, because obviously Greg Nicotero is the one doing the special makeup effects, and he's the best at what he does. I personally think.
I agree.
And because it was like the early days, I didn't expect them to be all grossed out and skeletal. So I've never really had a problem with them. But yeah, now that it's caught up to where Walking Dead is timeline-wise, it does seem a lot more like the zombies we're seeing on the other show.
Absolutely. And Tyler, at that point where Morgan's, it's kind of doing Morgan's road trip still, and then he stumbles upon a guy dying in a truck, and then later on, it looks like he's kind of searching for this person. What do you think about that scene? And that was, to be honest, that was a little bit confusing for me because it was just like,
I was going to say I didn't get that much either. I was wondering what you guys were going to say about that.
Yeah. What do you think, Tyler?
Well, I was thrown off by it too because we have, lunatic Morgan that's, going crazy and kind of just screw everybody. He sees a group of people and he backs up just so they can walk on so that he can continue moving. And he just kind of, I don't want to get involved with anybody. I don't want to help anyone. And then, but no, this guy, let me stop and help this guy. And then, he's so concerned with him later when he, seems to be searching for him and he runs across his truck and he's, kind of taken off down the road trying to, catch him. And I can't find where it fits or how or why it fits.
Yeah. What do you think, Deb? And Tyler brings up a good point that I didn't even really put together is that he did because he saw the Wagoneer basically on the side of the road. I even put together that was the car he found him in, which I should have. And so that's why he kind of reacted the way he did. Did you like that whole little subplot, Deb, or was it kind of weird?
No, I kind of had a different take on it. I mean, in the beginning when Rick told him, you can run but there's always gonna be people. You're always gonna find people. You're always gonna be sucked in. And it kind of, to me, kind of fit with that. I mean, Morgan's kind of off the hook right now and he's having his moments, but he's still human and he's still in there. And that, to me, that just showed he was still in there. And later on, I mean, the guy said, like, you're always alone. And he quoted what the guy said. And I mean, and that was maybe the purpose of that whole thing. I mean, it just showed that Morgan's purpose for being alone, and that guy was like Morgan in that he was alone and wanted to be alone and left alone. And if I'm making any sense at all with this one, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it fit perfectly with what Morgan was doing. And I didn't think it was out of character for him right now at all.
At a point, it almost seemed like he was almost like petulant when Maggie Race's character of Al asked him how he got there, and he finally broke down and he said, "I ran." Where Rick was just kind of beating it into his head, where he's just like, "You could hide, but you can't run. You could hide, but you can't run." Ted, why do you think he was being so? I don't know. At least to me, I took it as just being like proving Rick wrong.
I don't know. I right now I find it very difficult to get into his head at all. So I'm kind of hoping that he flattens out a bit with the swinging between Crazy Morgan and Sane Morgan. So I'm just sort of looking forward at this point and keen on that rather than focusing on actions that I can't explain that well. The whole Wagoneer thing didn't bother me. I mean, thinking about it now and listening to you guys comment on it, it didn't seem to make a lot of sense, but I didn't notice during the watch. So, and I thought that the send off from Jesus and Rick, and I think that was just more of a sweet goodbye from the original show. So I really wasn't evaluating it too much.
Yeah, yeah, and this it had to me, and I want to stay with Ted on this real quick, like because you've shot things. This had a very cinematic feel to it, almost more so than most of the other episodes, where it was just subtle things of just panning in on different aspects of Morgan's feet, and that kind of tells a story with the whole socks thing, and with Maggie's, or I keep calling her Maggie, even though it's not Maggie, it's Al's character. I like that it showed Morgan through and John through that kind of grainy, low grade kind of camera. Did you feel like this was a little more cinematic?
I did actually, and I think that they had to make it that way. I think they needed to give a visual break from the first 3 seasons as well, especially seasons 2 and 3. When you had that sort of hotness to the cinematography, the kind of yellow or orange tinge to everything that happened in Mexico. And I thought that, they were going for something different, and I think they achieved it. And I think that the different intro, and I loved the old intro. I thought it was awesome with the high-pitched sort of uncomfortable sound. I missed that, but the new intro really said something. It's, you're watching something different now.
Did anyone else get a Preacher vibe? I don't know if anyone watches AMC Preacher, but I got a total Preacher vibe from that. The new intro.
Love Preacher. Yeah, I did too.
Alex, we've kind of talked about some people had problems with the pacing of the episode or that it was kind of boring. I think everyone on the panel tonight is kind of in disagreement of that. When the action kind of kicked up a notch with everything that happened in that kind of like weird businessy trailer park place, what did you think about the whole grenading the Walker and all that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and because I literally just watched the season finale, I was kind of everything that was going on. I was thinking, where the fuck was this in the last episode? I was like shit. And it seems like this program has a higher budget than Walking Dead does now. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the grenade, the explosion. I'm not completely bought on Morgan being shot in the leg and being able to jump over trailers. That's it. Like
pure adrenaline.
That's a lot of adrenaline. I mean. But yeah, it was really well filmed, and I'm glad to see the truck being used because that was pretty much the only thing I was waiting for. It's just like, go pull a lever, pull a lever, pull a lever.
Yeah. Oh man, each one of these shows have their own shit rat, right? And that guy's name was like Flanders or something. I don't know.
Leland.
The action.
Sorry, Leland was a shit rat.
Even though the action was really good here, the bomb, the everything, I still like the getting to know these characters more. I rather have liked the episode been all of that, knowing their backstories and such, which we got all season to know it. But even though the action was really good, I preferred the getting to know them more, the characters, rather than the action, because they just had me from the word go.
What did you think about the action? I know you said that you would rather more characterization, but
the action was good. It's like I think I said it the first part of this. It was kind of like they went by the numbers bad guys take over, bad guys get the upper hand and they come back, and it went paint by the numbers. It was good. The action was good. The bomb part was pretty bad too. Like I said, the truck was badass. Walkers. When she shot all those walkers and Morgan and John came out of nowhere, how did she not shoot them? I didn't get that.
They were underneath the walkers. I mean, they were like underneath the bodies, I guess. That's kind of what I got.
Because I know they jumped, but and then they were
Morgan
under
said
all the
John
walkers.
get down, and I think that was about it. Yeah.
But yeah, that the truck is badass. I like the bomb thing. Morgan runs and jumps. It reminded me of Indiana Jones when he goes in the fridge or something like that. I was waiting for him to go to the fridge.
That's literally what I said when watching it, because I was watching it with Josh, and I was just there like, oh yeah, Indiana Jones right now. He's going to survive a nuke.
It reminded me of that too. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it says a lot though when, or at least for me, that watching the show and I want to know more about the characters and the action. Everything was great. Awesome episode. My favorite Fear the Walking Dead episode, I think.
Tyler, remember when we talked about, I think it was like episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 8 of The Walking Dead, and it was just all action all the time. We were just cracking up. And
I didn't like that.
No, it was weird. It was doing like these weird like flash zooms and stuff like this. Of Rick in like a car.
And then there was the Jeep chase. That was the Indiana Jones episode. That's what we called it.
Oh my!
He missed them and everything. How did he miss them?
It was so bizarre, and it was like so out of tone. Even though it was like, oh, we're setting a tone. We're gonna be crazy action show, and then it finally tapered off. Thank God. But this was just perfectly paced, where it was like just enough of these weird. It just oozed of character, and not just characters, but oozed of character. It like I said, it just took the training wheels off and said, "Hey, we're going to be just this wacky, cool TV show, and have this guy Morgan be your grounded POV character," which was fantastic. So kind of rounding this thing out, it ends on kind of Morgan saying, "Hey, I got a bum leg now. I do kind of need you guys." And then he gives Al the interview, and he tells everyone about Shiva. Tyler, what were you thinking?
I was just thinking, like, she's probably just thinking this guy is either crazy or full of shit. There was no king with a pet tiger. What is this guy on?
I hope they do that. Not like all the time, but here and there, Morgan just drops stuff from the original Walking Dead show. I would like to hear that more.
I was definitely surprised, though. I was definitely surprised that he just went just there so quick, just like that escalated quickly.
I think even in a world full of zombies, that's the kind of thing that you're gonna mention to people, right?
Right. That friend with a tiger.
Morgan's underground casino.
That's the trump card, right? You guys everyone's got zombies. I got a tiger. Awesome. Yeah. And then, kind of wrapping this thing up as far as the episode goes, Morgan gets back on board. He does the whole weird Winnebago scene, and then they pull up to a person that's hurt in the road, and whoa, it's Alicia, and it's everyone but Madison. You get Strand, you get Nick, you get, other girlfriend,
Luciana.
Yeah, her. What do you think about how they wrapped the episode up, Deb?
I thought it was great. I was waiting for someone from like the past episodes to show up, and I didn't know when it was going to happen. I figured it would happen. They did a really good job with that. Alicia looked horrible. I mean, she looked like she's been through just
that too.
Nightmare. But I thought they ended it perfectly. I mean, this whole episode was done extremely well, and it ended extremely well. I mean, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I love Strand. I love Nick, and it was great the way they pulled it off.
Start to finish, finish. Alex, what did you think about the ending of this?
Yeah, I liked it as well. I think because of the time jump, they wanted the audience to anticipate, like they want to see more of how they became how they are. It definitely worked with me. I want to see how they went from being mostly good to being complete assholes by the looks of it. So I'm very excited for the next episode.
Yeah, and let's stay on that. I mean, as far as oh man, the excitement level for Fear is at like a fever pitch right now, and it could be because of Morgan. It could be because of the last two episodes or last two seasons of The Walking Dead. But like, there's so much buzz around Fear, not felt since the premiere was going to happen of this entire series. How pumped are you for this? Are you just as excited for Fear now as you were for like a regular Walking Dead season?
I feel like I'm probably more excited for Fear now than I have been for Walking Dead in quite a while.
Yeah. Felix, what do you think?
Easily my favorite Fear episode. I know I keep saying it, but great, awesome. I mean, the action was decent. Love the characters. I know I keep saying that too, but the character was awesome. I don't think Strand and Alicia, Nick and Oceana are bad guys or anything. They saw them coming probably, and they want to know if they are. So they're going to have to go this route. I think they take them back to where they're at, and everything's cool. Right after that, but like you said, when I was waiting for the first season to come and it was going from the beginning, Fear the Walking Dead, the whole thing, I'm more excited right now than I was back then.
Ted?
I really like it. I don't know how much of the original cast has been retained, though. Like, do we get everyone? Is everyone coming back?
Daniel's the only one that hasn't been in any trailers or anything.
Okay.
Who?
Daniel
and Walker, right? Taka.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I actually liked the cast. I liked the previous two seasons, and I'm optimistic to see these characters in a basically a new show. And I dig it. I'm optimistic, and I'm waiting for, I'm already feeling that, I want to see what happens next week, and that means they did the job right. So,
Deb, how excited are you?
I'm looking forward to seeing what got them where they are now. I'm looking forward to seeing why they're so desperate. They seem so desperate. Why Alicia looks the way she looks. I can't wait to find out what they've been through with the time jump and what's happened. And I'm so looking forward to this more than I am anything with the one.
Not to cut you off, but are they desperate or are they just better at this shit at this point?
Well, she looks so bad. I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided yet on that. I really have to think about that one. Maybe they just are better at it, but she looks so crappy. I mean, maybe there's a desperation level in there too. I guess time will tell. I don't know.
Tyler, round us out.
Well, I was waiting, like, okay, when are we going to see, the old cast members? Are we going to see the old cast members? And when they came upon Alicia in the middle of the road, I didn't think it was Alicia. I was surprised. I thought maybe it was Luciana because I could maybe see her and Nick kind of pulling something like this. But to see Alicia, that just kind of surprised me, especially when, everyone just came out of the, side of the, road and just kind of, ambushed them, so to say. I was surprised, and I'm definitely interested to see where that's going to go as well, and how they got to where they are. I don't know if I am really happy about the time jump, because are they going to show us this, what happened? I mean, like, what's going to happen with that? But I mean, I loved the episode, and I'm definitely, more excited for Fear right now than Walking Dead proper.
Well, building off that and building off of what Debbie said too, the thing I don't want to see is it started out so strong, and I don't want this just to be a hook with how crazy they started out with the introduction of these new characters. I want them to build on that. I want them to build on their integration to the group. What I don't want to see is 3 or 4 episodes of flashbacks to get us to this point, because it seems, you know what I mean? It just seems like it's going to be, now it's going to be like, okay, here's the Fear cast all at once. and this is how they got there, and we're not going to see anything. I don't want them to forget, and that's fine to a point, but I don't want to see a flashback show. I don't where you lose. You don't see a character like John. You don't see a character like Al or Morgan, even, for shit's sake, for a couple episodes, or you just see them very sparingly. You just see, Nick look at him, and then that brings back, 40 minutes of memory, and then you look at the clock and the show's over. I don't want to see that. I know it's the Fears cast show. I know it's Fear the Walking Dead. And it's not the Morgan show, just, as much as it maybe should be, like the fucking Lando movie should be the Lando movie and not a Han Solo movie. But that's a different goddamn show. But, I just don't want to see, 8 hours or 20 hours of flashback explaining to where we got to this point. If it is all handled in episode 2, and that's what it is, and this is the flashback episode, but we're gonna see at a brisk pace what happened to Daniel, what's up with how Nick got re-upped with Madison and all the group and all this. That's fine. Give me a flashback episode for episode 2. That's fine. Just don't draw it out the entire season. Don't do this whole weird flip-floppy. The last question that I'll pose to the group, and whoever wants to jump in can. The last portion of Fear the Walking Dead season 3 ended on a really kind of bizarre, dare I say, borderline experimental kind of note, where Madison was having these weird dreams, these weird flashbacks with Travis, and that weird kind of Christmas dinner table scene. Do you think they're going to explore this more and like they kind of were hinting at with Lenny James's character, or do you think that was just kind of an experiment? They're going to drop that.
I think that was more of just a one-off, just to close out. That was like the bookend of the first 3 seasons. Nothing more than that. I hope they don't try to make her like Morgan. Even though she's a great actress, she's not as good as Lenny James. There's no way she'd be able to pull it off like he can.
That's
Tyler,
fact.
you had something to add?
No, I was just gonna say, I actually forgot about that. I forgot that she was having those crazy dreams, and I didn't really know what to make of them when they were happening. And yeah, I guess I kind of hope they just go away from that, because Felix brought up a great point. She's no Lenny James, she's not gonna be able to pull it off the way that he does. But I just hope they do away with that.
And I lied. I got one more thing, just because I like hanging out with you guys. But just now seeing that they're kind of good at this kind of ambushing thing, do you think that ultimately, and this is just completely predictions, and I kind of want to start with Ted and then go to Alex, just our resident kind of big comic book guys. Do you think that it's still a possibility that we're building up Madison to be an alpha?
They could be following. They could actually be following Madison to see what's going on there, right? And maybe that's the crux of the show. I think we can safely say that Jadis/Anne is no longer in the running for Alpha. So
she's out of the election, so to speak.
yeah, exactly. So I think that would be good. I think it would be very interesting. I think it's maybe a little ambitious for them. So I'm not sure that we're going to see it, but I'd ride that train. I'd keep watching.
Alex, what do you think? Alpha?
I personally hope they don't go that route. I kind of like the idea of not knowing their past. It makes them more creepy, I guess. Because if it is the Fear of the Walking Dead group, we've seen them right from the beginning, and I don't know, they kind of just lose any kind of fear, I want to say, or any scare, if you kind of know who they are and you're on the fence of, well, are they really bad guys or are they good guys? Because we know why they're doing it. So yeah, I just personally, and they're completely different areas, but I guess Morgan could help with that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's crazy. What if Alicia could be an alpha?
Yeah.
She'd have to move pretty quick, though.
Yeah.
Last season, I would say one of them being an alpha, but with the time jump right now, they would already be alpha, not start turning into alpha.
Good
Well,
point.
we haven't seen Madison though.
That's true too.
Right?
Yeah. All
So
right.
next episode, if she turns out to be bold, it's confirmed.
Awesome. That is the Fear the Walking Dead. I apologize. I don't remember the name of this episode, but oh no, what's your story, right? Or it's your story.
What's your story?
What's your story? So that is the Fear the Walking Dead episode 1 for season 4. What's your story? Oh God, dare I say it's so much more fun with this episode than the finale. But you know, it was smart of AMC to kind of group these together because it didn't, you know, the finale, even though like we said on the other show, the finale almost felt like a series finale, but just as like when you watch an entire season of anything, especially of something that you love, you know, which I think all of us, it's fair to say, whether we love or hate it from week to week, we love this show. That's why we're on this show talking about it. Seeing a season end like that kind of lulled you to sleep at the end of All Out War. The season of All Out War was a little bit disappointing, but then the AMC just kind of kept the ride going, and then this happened, and Fear absolutely blew my mind for this season, and I'm so excited for it, so excited for the future of it. Oh my God, thank you so much. We did kind of something similar to this last year for the Walking Dead season 7 finale. We had, you know, obviously Tyler and I were sitting next to each other during that, and then we also had Alex and Josh. Josh was the only one that didn't get to make it with us tonight. He's still alive. It sounds like he's dead. I think he's fine. Is Josh still alive?
No.
Okay, good.
Killed him a few months ago. That's why there's been no issues.
Right. I only sent you one belt, and I said fight to the death over it, right?
He started stealing it, so I knocked him over the head with the baseball bat.
Yeah, well,
Logical response.
Totally appropriate. But yeah, we had Alex, and then we also had the RAD crew on doing the season finale big show. But this is just like with all the shit that The Walking Dead gets, and I've been saying this a lot on ending these episodes of DGT Live. Look what it does. This is a TV show bringing 3 countries together, for shit's sake. It has been so fantastic sharing this stage with you guys. I want to, I'll go down the line. I want to first thank Alex Scott from The Walking Dead so much for coming back on. We miss you so much, buddy. Where can everyone find you and all that jazz?
Thank you for that. It's always a pleasure to be here whenever I can. You can find us on YouTube, The Walking Bread. Don't ask us about the name. Don't know why. But that's pretty much all you can find us.
Awesome. Felix from Thought Factory, again, thank you so much for joining us back on the show. You're always a wealth of knowledge, dude, and I'm so glad that you got to see this in the theater. Where can everyone find you?
It was awesome. Thought Factory here, YouTube. The official Bambox community on Facebook. I'm a moderator there. Come over, see what we got.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime, sir. And Ted from the Great White North from Cardsphere. We weren't supposed to talk Walking Dead when I first, when Ted and I first got introduced. We were supposed to do a little show about Magic the Gathering, which is definitely going to happen if he will ever come on this show again. He's probably had his fill of me at this point. But thank you so much for coming on talking Walking Dead. Can't wait to talk. It's been a long show. Can't wait to talk Magic the Gathering with you as well. But Ted, where can everyone find you? You run a little tiny website, right?
Yeah, cardsphere.com for trading Magic cards. But I want to give you guys a little bit of Fear of the Walking Dead homework.
Oh.
So there's a Grateful Dead song called Althea. And in that song, it discusses Ophelia as well.
Oh.
So I'm thinking the showrunners are deadheads. And I'm thinking that there may be a little hint in the lyrics to the song about stuff that may be coming up. So have a look at that, guys.
Wow.
Althea by the Grateful Dead.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. That's what you get for having old ass hippies on your show.
My sister, The Walking Deb, haven't seen you in a while on here.
And you can't find me anywhere because the only place I am is in the Walking Dead trivia stuff on your channel, and that's about it.
Hey, but I think there were some challenges thrown
I will
out.
challenge you for sure.
Oh, wow.
Hey, well, hold on. Maybe well, okay, guys. Debbie, number one, makes the question, so I need her for that. And number two, I'm kind of smelling a Felix and Ted match.
Fun.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm in. I don't know how I'm going to do, but I'm in. That Deb, when we were talking earlier before the call started, and she was explaining that one of her questions was about the name of the store that the helicopter.
Oh, Alice, the name.
And I'm like, I don't know that shit.
Excellent stuff. All right. Well, someone's got to challenge Alex.
Well, you let me know if you guys are ready, and I will do the questions. And I'm game when you guys are.
I'm down.
Always ready.
Hear that, dead guy Ty? We got to dust off our game show hosts jackets and get back into this. Well, because you and I can't answer questions for shit.
This is true.
But segue into dead guy Ty, Mr. Tyler Perez. Where can everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me here on the YouTubes, floating around on your channel. They said, we said, Dead Guys DGT Live. You can find me floating around in a few other places. The Brewpedia, once a year I put out a beer review. And yeah, that's about it.
That's right, man. Hey, you and I started this thing, and we're gonna keep pushing on. We're not going anywhere as far as Walking Dead content goes because thank God Fear is here and here with a big bang. You could find me on this very channel. My name's John Dunn. You could also find me on the social medias on Twitter at OrzovDunn. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram on at John Dunning because that's my name. So until next time, thank you, panel, for being here. Spread the disease.
Spread it.